Sue, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Pappas. Mr. Pacifico. Mr. Romanowitz.
Here.
Mr. McCully.
Here.
Mr. Cook.
Here.
Thank you. Mrs. McGinnis. Here. Mrs. Irwin Adams. Here. Mr. Francis.
Here.
Mr. Mignon.
Here.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Before we get started, I'd just like to announce that we had an executive session that extended from 5:30 until about 6:35 to discuss some personnel issues. And before we hear from any citizens, let's hear from Mr. Scott about our audit.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Scott, as you know, from Young Oaks Brown. What could be more exciting than an audit report, right? Who said accountants are boring, right? But I'd like to appreciate Sue Franks and Brad and the staff for cooperation during the audit. The audit went very well, and they all do a great job. They really do. You don't realize how much work there is involved with this little report. The thick one I'm talking about now, the thick one, there's two of them, thick one and thin one. I'm going to talk about the thick one, but there's a tremendous amount of work, time, and effort to get this product together. And this is what you pay for, is the product. Okay. And basically, I'm going to go over some numbers because I'm a numbers guy, but basically I'll be very brief. If you would take the thick report, look at it on page 14. That's the balance sheet as of 6/30/25, the thick one. And again, this is the balance sheet as of 6/30/25 of the Altair School District. It's the assets, liabilities, and fund balance. And everybody likes to know about the fund balance. And again, we're talking about the thick report on page 14 under general fund, down at the bottom. The second line up from the bottom, it says total fund balance, a little over $33 million at that point in time. So again, the audited balance is $33 million of fund balance at that point. The next page I was going to go over in the thick report was page 16, which is called the Statement of Revenues, Expansion, Change in Fund Balance. That's like a profit and loss statement for a business. And again, you look under general fund, which is the main operating fund. The second line up from the bottom, third line up from the bottom, you had a deficit of 2.2 million. However, that was really created because we took $3 million and transferred it to the cap reserve fund for future repairs. So again, that's where we created the deficit, was the transfer of $3 million over to the cap reserve fund. Does anybody have any questions on this report right here? This is the thick one. There's lots of pages. A lot of this report is very unnecessary, to be honest with you. It deals with the PISA retirement plan. It deals with OPEB benefits. And again, it's just requirement of what we call generally accepted accounting principles. And really your bonding company is really the bonding company really is what is more used for this, really, to be honest with you. But again, there's a lot of work involved with this. Any questions? Okay, let's go over the thin report. This is a separate audit. This is because your federal expenditures were more than $750,000. So if you go to page number 8 on the right, because there's 2 pages, number 8 to the right, you'll see a summary page of all your different federal programs here, okay? The total amount of federal programs for this fiscal year was $13.7 million of federal funds. And we selected certain programs. If you look towards the bottom, it says selected for testing. We tested Title I, Special Education Cluster, and also temporary assistance for needy families. We selected those 3 programs. We did a comprehensive examination of internal control and compliance requirements of federal laws and regulations on those dollars. And it was about a little over $6 million. There was no audit findings in the federal, on the federal part. There's no audit findings in the federal part of the audit. We had one finding, audit finding. If you go to page number 11, during the financial audit of the financial statements, which is the thick report, there's a lot of credit card transactions regarding Amazon And basically what happened was the invoices, they were relying on Amazon to maintain invoices on our behalf for our expenditures through Amazon. And we said that probably is not a good thing. And they have changed, but we recommended that they somehow come up with a process of downloading those invoices from Amazon. We have a file in our server, in our system of those invoices, not relying on a third party like Amazon to hold these invoices for us. And that's what it was all about. And again, they made changes to correct that. And also we issued a management letter of certain other issues as far as internal control, minor issues that we think they need to address to make things better here at the Altoona School District. Other than that, that's really all I had. Does anybody have any questions at all for me? Have a great evening.
Thanks, Dave. And good job, Sue. All right, now moving on, this is the opportunity for us to hear from citizens. If anybody would like to step to the microphone and speak, just please state your name and you have 5 minutes. I'll time it and let you know if you're getting close. Hello.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm a resident of Altoona City, and I moved here about 2 years ago. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so just bear with me. I'm sure all of you have paid attention to the news over the last couple of weeks and are well aware of the releasing of the Epstein files. And I think that this is a topic that, from what I've noticed in Altoona in general, doesn't seem to be talked about enough. Now, in the Epstein files that were released, I'm only going to talk about facts. I want to say that really quick, not opinions, because I have my opinions. I will keep those to myself. However, in those files, we have discovered that a company known as LifeTouch was creating catalogs of children's school pictures. Many of you might remember LifeTouch from when we ourselves were children, and giving them to the pedophiles that visited Epstein Island or had interactions with Epstein. Now, throughout that release, it was also discovered that Ghislaine Maxwell being the partner of Epstein, her father created McGraw-Hill, sorry, mixing things up a bit. McGraw-Hill, and McGraw-Hill, as pretty much everyone here knows, is a huge textbook company, resource company for schools. Now, among the most recently released Epstein files, there is only one mention of Jostens in those files. However, it is unredacted as to who Epstein was talking with, and all it was a yearbook ad to to the families of that town, and the message was, "Get these ones for me." Now, I want to say that from everything I've seen so far, everyone's saying, well, what are we supposed to do about it? And I think that's the problem. We might not be able to take down billionaire pedophiles by ourselves, but the school, me, a plain mom, I have 4 kids at home, 7 total. And it mortifies me to think that my kids' pictures could be out there. My pictures could be out there. And I think that I guess I'm here today because it's time to stop waiting for somebody else to do something about it. As a school, we can take precautions. We can start hiring local photographers. We can start looking into other options for textbooks. We can start really carefully researching where things that we've always assumed were safe are coming from. And I don't really have a question for the school board. It really is just a call to keep our children safe, to make these choices, to not trust companies that are making billions, to educate and care for our children, because obviously they can't be trusted. That is an opinion, sorry. Like I said, I'm very opinionated on it. This isn't something I normally do. but I would like to see the school taking action and taking precautions and generally not pushing this aside, because this isn't something anyone in our society should be pushing aside. This is something we should all be fighting for the safety of our children. I don't care if you're right or left or where you stand on the political scheme of things. Hurting children is wrong. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing that and enlightening us. I recently learned about some of those connections myself, so something that we will take into consideration and explore. Can't make any promises, but definitely something that we'll remain aware of and continue to explore. So thank you for sharing that. Anyone else, any other citizens like to step up and speak to the board? Okay, then we'll move on to the rest of the agenda here. Moving on to number 4 on our agenda, I would seek a motion to approve minutes from our regular school board meeting of January 12th and the committee of the whole meeting on February 2nd. Do I have a motion to approve those? Do I have a second? Okay, thank you. Anybody like to discuss any of the minutes? Okay. All in favor of approving those minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to finance, under number 5, we have items A through E. We have a list of payments. We were provided our financial reports. We have a request to approve an agreement with the County of Blair to utilize the Altoona area junior high school, the high school, Logan Elementary School, McAuliffe Heights at Irving, in the Washington Jefferson Building as polling places for the 2026 through 2029 primary and general elections. Under item D, we have administration requests approval of agreement with the County of Blair to utilize the junior high school for a polling place for the March 17th special election. And finally, under E, administration recommends approval to extend the lease agreement between the Altoona Area School District and Goodwill of the Southern Alleghenies Incorporated for a term of 1 year. The lease is for 4,175 square feet of space in the Altoona Area Public Library Building at a rate of $12.25 per square foot, or $4,262 per month. Seeking a motion to approve items 5A through E. Do I have a second? Any discussion? I'll just typically share what I share. Going through the list of payments, I saw that we, by my estimate, paid cyber charter schools $634,000 this cycle, which represented about 5.5% of the total payments we made. And again, that is taxpayer money leaving our community to pay cyber charter schools. So I always like to bring that up. Anybody else like to discuss any issues related to items 5A through E? Okay, all in favor of approving those items, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to 6, education. Under A, administration recommends approval of the revised 25-26 district and learning express calendars showing weather adjustments for December 23rd, asynchronous day, and January 30th, full day with a 2-hour delay. Under B, administration recommends approval of the attached 26-27 calendars for the district grades K through 12, Early Intervention Learning Express, and Pre-K Counts Learning Express. Under C, request approval of the Altoona Area Junior High School summer school proposal for 2026. Under D, the Altoona Area High School would like to add the AAHS book traverse for a new club for students. This club is hoping to encourage students to improve their reading skills in a low-pressure environment. Miss Megan Leone will be one of the teacher volunteers. Under E, Juniata Elementary requests approval for the Juniata Elementary Drama Club. The bylaws are attached. Under F, administration requests approval of the attached affiliation agreement between the Altoona Area School District and St. Francis University for an occupational therapy student. Under G, per Mark Harrington's contract, administration requests approval for course Education 611 4-credit course to be taken in the spring of 2026. Under H, we were provided a list of volunteers to approve. Under I, administration requests retroactive approval to submit the preschool early intervention agreement application. Funding awards will be offered in the amount of $10,000 and will fund targeted activities meant to strengthen the capacity to support children engaging in persistent, challenging behaviors. Under J, administration requests retroactive approval to accept the charitable grant for the Stevens Building Care Closet in the amount of $1,000. The money will be used exclusively to assist in the purchase of food and other essential items and goods for the care closet. That's the Altoona Curve Charities. Under K, this is First Commonwealth Bank charitable donation. Administration requests retroactive approval to accept the charitable donation for the Stevens Building Care Closet in the amount of $500. The money will be used exclusively to assist in the purchase of food and other essential items and goods for the care closet. Under L, we were provided a list of elementary school field trips to approve. And under M, we were provided a list of secondary field trips to approve. Do I have a motion to approve items 6A through M? Do I have a second? Okay. I would just like to say it's nice to see a non-controversial new club be formed. So that's exciting. It looks like an interesting club. So that's really nice to see. Anybody else? All right, all in favor of approving items A through M, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Under 7, we were provided administration recommends approval of the attached personnel agenda items. Under B, administration recommends the approval of the attached addendum to the contract with ESS Northeast LLC. And under C, administration recommends the approval of the attached contract with Red Rover Technologies LLC. Do I have a motion to approve items 7A through C? Do I have a second? Any discussion?
What's Red Rover exactly?
Red Rover will be software that's utilized as part of our hiring process through human resources. This is a replacement product for what we already have in place. It's roughly the same amount. It's a replacement that would allow us to do online interviewing, acceptance of applications, uploading of documentation for clearances, resumes, all of those pieces. So again, it's not in addition to, it's in replace of.
Okay.
I would just like to add as well, not with Red Rover. We have been looking at the addendum to the ESS agreement to add a retired teacher rate. So effective this board meeting, we are adding a retired teacher rate that any teacher of the Altoona Area School District that has retired and would like to come back and support our subpool. We have established a retired teacher rate, which is the highest of our rates available through ESS. So any teachers out there watching, please share the word. We would love to have our retired teacher experts come back and support our classrooms throughout the district. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor of approving items 7A through C, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 8, we only have one item. The board approved an initial Act 48 program agreement for services between the Altoona Area School District and Nittany Learning Services at the September 22nd, 2025 board meeting. Administration recommends approval of the revised and final version of the agreement, which we were provided. Do I have a motion to approve item A? Do I have a second? Michael, thank you. Any discussion?
Just want to reiterate that the Altoona Area School District is utilizing all of our 6 contracted seats at Nittany Learning, and we are having a very successful partnership with them.
Thanks, Brad. Okay, all in favor of item 8A, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 9, business operations. We were provided with 1 repository bid. To review, we had a few capital reserve payments to approve. Under item C, administration requests and recommends approval to transfer $9,000 from the tax account to capital reserve fund. This amount represents the transfer tax proceeds from the sale of the former Lumax property on Chestnut Avenue. Administration requests and recommends approval to transfer $30,500 from the tax account to the capital reserve fund. This amount represents the transfer tax proceeds from the sale of Nittany Point Apartments. And finally, administration requests and recommends approval to transfer $25,875 from the tax account to the capital reserve fund. This amount represents the transfer tax proceeds from the sale of a section of the Park Hills Plaza property. Under D, administration requests and recommends approval to contract with SurfPro Cleaning, Restoration and Construction to perform mitigation and reconstruction work at the junior high school. The work is necessary due to the flooding caused by a break in the fire sprinkler system water line. Approval is also requested to contract with individual contractors, including but not limited to Crater Electric, Mountain Research, and Betway Systems to make specialized repairs related to the same incident. Payment, with the exception of the $25,000 deductible, will be made by the district insurance carrier. And under E, administration requests approval to advertise a request for proposal for an educational site to provide emotional support instruction to Altoona Area School District students. May I have a motion to approve items 9A through E?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion on any of these items? Okay, seeing none. All in favor of approving items 9A through E, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Under 10, new business. To approve the single audit and financial statement for the fiscal year and June 30th, 2025, which Mr. Scott discussed with us. Under B, administration recommends approval for the Red Cross to use the Altoona Area Junior High School Field House on July 21st, 2026 from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. for their annual Blair Blood Blitz. The event's scheduled from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Fees will be waived and certificate of insurance will be provided. Under C, administration recommends approval of the Altoona Police Department to use the Altoona Junior High School Gymnasium on March 7th, 2026 and March 14th, 2026 for their physical and written test. Lastly, under D, the Altoona Area School District Athletic Office requests approval for PJW Wrestling Area 2 to use the Altoona Area High School Fieldhouse for a wrestling tournament on Sunday, February 15th, 2026 at a rate of $700. Rental agreement is attached along with the certificate of insurance had been provided. Seeking a motion to approve items 10A through D. Do I have a second? Michael, thank you. Any discussion on any of these items? Seeing none, all in favor of approving items 10A through D, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to 11, committee reports. Do any of our committee chairs have a report to share?
Just February 28th, Central Blair Rec will be having its annual dinner at the Bavarian Hall for help with our programs at Central Blair.
Is this the citizen honoring
It's a
citizen?
Right. Yeah.
My classmate Scott Filler, I think,
Right.
is the guy. Terrific. Thanks, Dave. Board president's report, I have none. To the best part of the night, Ms. Krug with the student report.
Good evening, board members. Altoona Area School District students have been busy recently despite the cold weather. Here are some recent and upcoming events. The junior high school is set to perform Beetlejuice Jr. in the AAJHS auditorium on March 5th and 6th at 7 p.m. and the 7th at 1 p.m. 4 students from the high school received first place awards at the Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science regional competition and will advance to states in May at Penn State. 10 students in FBLA will advance to states in Hershey in April. Last Friday, AHS thespian troupe 10718 presented When Bad Things Happen to Good Actors, a one-act play including dessert for a fundraiser. 6 students will attend the PMEA Regional Chorus Festival, 8 students will attend the PMEA Regional Orchestra Festival, and 13 students will attend the PMEA Regional Band Festival. These festivals will be held in February and March. The AHS swim team will attend the district swim meet on February 20th and 21st at Penn State campus. Care Club, a club for cancer research here at the high school, is holding a cozy basket drive. Students are encouraged to bring in items and donate homemade cards. Student Council is beginning their annual Pennies for Pets fundraiser next week for the Humane Society. The AHS gymnastics team attended districts from February 13th to 14th and received second place. Girls basketball will be playing for the District 6 championship this Thursday at Mount Aloysius at 6, and students and counselors have begun the scheduling process. Counselors will be meeting with each student individually over the next few weeks to prepare for the next year. Callie Kunkel placed second place at the district speech and debate tournament at Richland High School on Friday, February 13th, and will advance to the state championships at Bloomsburg University on March 21st to 22nd. And finally, the AHS Talent Show will take place in the Black Box on February 27th, and all high school students are encouraged to audition to perform. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Do we have a superintendent report?
Very brief. I just want to petition to switch the order of myself and Camille. You're a tough act to follow every month. But just I want to echo, I know that we had a significant issue at our junior high school last week with the water break. Want to commend all of our staff members, our students, and our parents for their patience and understanding. Obviously, when you have situations of that nature that happen unexpectedly, you hope that the plans that you've put in place get put into action and work. And I can tell you that our junior high school staff, administration, Mr. Robinson and his complete staff and administration, Mr. Neely and the high school staff, all of our students. So we moved 1,500 kids over here to the high school for the day. Our cafeteria staff made sure that they're fed. Our maintenance staff and the entire organization here was extremely welcoming. We had hundreds of parents that showed up to pick up their students. Some of them were delayed because of them being in the cafeteria or getting a hold of them. They were extremely patient and understanding. So I do want to thank all of our citizens, residents, and our kids. The kids should be commended because the kids were phenomenal. Our high school students were very welcoming. Our junior high school students were very understanding and dealt with the day and the subsequent asynchronous at-home learning days in a very, very positive way. So, making the best out of difficult situations and adversity is always a sign of character. And I think we had a lot of people that demonstrated character over those couple of days. Special thank you to our police force, as well as the Altoona Fire Department, who were here on scene within a half an hour assisting to help, mitigate and limit the amount of damage that was done to our school. And all of the teams of vendors and outside people that come in to help over the course of 5 to 6 days to make sure that our school was back up and ready for our students to safely return to school this morning. So thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to the board for being extremely supportive and understanding. You never like for these things to happen, but when they do, they can expose issues. And fortunately, I think all of our people rose to the occasion and did a great job. So thank you to our parents, students, staff. You guys all did a fantastic job.
Okay, thanks, Brad. Thanks for your leadership during that. We'll move on to 12 for information only professional contracts. The following instructors have completed 3 years of satisfactory service, 6 ratings, and are entitled to tenure effective January 21st, 2026. We have Christine Benzel Kyle, Megan Burley, Betsy Crone, Courtney Nagel, and Emily Winters. Next, under 13, do we have an employee unions response? Mr. Solicitor,
Nothing this evening. Thank you.
thank you. Anything from middle management? None? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Just one,
Oh.
Mr. Pappas asked to speak
Sure,
briefly
sorry,
tonight,
Mike.
so give him a minute.
I want to tag on to what Mr. Hatch said earlier about what happened on Monday. The text messages were flying, as we all know, we were getting them, and he said about, if you can get in here, come on in here. I got here about 9:05 that morning. What I walked in on was nothing short of a mess and a crisis. Within 5 hours, that was taken care of by Mr. Robinson, Mr. Hamill, and the crews from our maintenance department and the custodial staff that was there. As Mr. Hatch noted, when I went over to the high school at that point, because they already got started, our cafeteria staff, as you said, suddenly they weren't just feeding 9 through 12, they had to feed 6 through 12. 5 of the girls left the high school, or I'm sorry, the junior high cafeteria and went over to help out. The other girls went to the elementary schools, they needed help too. Justin, you're new to this district. You taught here, but you've come back to run our tech department and you're doing a bang up job. A parent got my attention about 1:30 and said, who set this up? I said, our maintenance department, Mr. Warner and his staff, and our tech department, Mr. Arthur. He said, this is impressive. The parents are being processed by everybody here in our administration, and they're being taken care of by the secretaries who were transplanted from the junior high over to here. To Mr. Hatch, Mr. Harrington, and Mrs. Flegel, above and beyond the call. To Mr. Neely, Mr. Campbell, and all your assistant principals, above and beyond. Cannot thank you all enough. To our cafeteria staff, again, 6 through 12, they got them all fed. Those were still here. And most importantly, and I don't want to forget somebody, our nursing staff. What many people don't understand is a lot of our kids at the junior and high school, excuse me, I'm battling a slight head cold, have to take care of these kids with medicine, and they're on, they're being taken care of. No one student did not get taken care of by nursing staff over at the junior high or here that day. Those ladies were phenomenal. And last but not least, our police services, Mr. Peffer and his crew, again, they had to get the entire staff and all those students across 7th Avenue in that morning, and then over to the A building as well. Nothing went wrong. In fact, as I said to Mr. Hatch, Mr. Harrington this morning, above me on the call, gentlemen, we have great leadership in place, and it showed that day. Before you guys left the junior high foyer, and I didn't see any look of panic. No, nobody was, it's like they knew what they had to do and they went and they did it. That's leadership, and they practiced it. It showed. And finally, to Mr. Trevor Robinson and his department, you've got 2 great secretaries in Crystal and Jessica, and they handled things on that end of it and got everybody over to the junior high to get it cleaned up. Like I said, 4.5 hours, whatever it was. Sir, we've given you this job for 2 years now plus. You have gone above and beyond in your position. You've made that your own. And most importantly, you've earned the respect of every single tradesman, HVAC, and custodian labor in this district and all the buildings. I know, I've been in, I've talked to them. Thank you, sir, for all you did that day. But again, to our principals, administration, phenomenal. I mean, I was proud. I got home that day. I sat in my car for a moment because we had a JOC meeting that day. And I almost cried. I thought, I'm proud of these people. We pulled it off. Everything could not have gone better. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you for this time, Val.
Yeah, thank you. I would add on, and thanks for sharing that. That's great perspective. Your handling of the event resulted in the first positive email I've received, I think, as a member of this board. The public are usually sending emails, they're upset about something. This resulted in the first email I think I've received in my over 4 years that was like, wow, they did a great job. They couldn't have handled it any better. And I think I shared that email with everybody. But so yeah, it must have been a special response that you guys put on. So thanks again. Thanks, Michael. Now is the time I would accept a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second? All in favor, please signify by saying